Last week, we showed you how the front line against China had slid south to the Philippines and Vietnam. Today, zoom out. A web of smaller Pacific nations, they're quietly boxing Beijing in, sometimes by inviting the US and allies back in, sometimes by shutting China out, and sometimes by playing both sides for maximum leverage. Hey, if you're done with globalist bullshit and ready for straight talk, subscribe to America's Geopolitics. Now let's break it down. The Forum with no great powers. The Pacific Islands Forum is the region's political heartbeat. This year, the Solomon Islands stunned everyone by barring all dialogue partners from the upcoming summit. That means the US, China, Taiwan, they're keeping the big powers outside the room while island states sort themselves out. It's a power move that also mirrors Beijing's pressure to exclude Taiwan, and it shows how contested this arena has become. When the donors and the heavyweights are kept at the door, island leaders gain negotiating leverage on aid, security, and development projects. From PNG to the Philippines, while the Forum tightens its doors, the U.S. is tightening access and presence. In Papua New Guinea, Washington now trains and exercises alongside Australia on PNG soil, and at the key port of Lae, under a new defense pact, clearly a response to China's 2022 deal next door in the Solomons. And to the west, India and the Philippines just held a joint naval drill inside the South China Sea, another signal that Manila is building a coalition of like-minded partners to blunt Chinese pressure near the vital sea lanes. China shadowed the exercise and blasted the Philippines as a troublemaker, which tells you it landed. Beijing isn't taking this passively. Chinese Coast Guard footage last week showed an operation towing a Philippine vessel. A new level of public messaging meant to deter Manila. But the more aggressive the clips, the more Manila's partners line up. China's diplomatic squeeze. Beijing still plays a strong hand with the Solomon Islands. An outreach to Vanuatu, Kiribati, and it hosted regional foreign ministers this year to deepen aid and trade. But the model is under scrutiny after years of debt-burdened or delayed projects around the region. Meanwhile, Taiwan's space shrank when Nauru switched to Beijing in 2024. But Palau has doubled down on Taipei. Its president publicly vowed to stand with Taiwan till death do us part, and highlighted the value of U.S. compact funding and security ties. That's a message to voters and to Washington that Pacific partners can and will pick sides of their choosing, the new playbook. Small states, big leverage. Here's the pivot from the old to the new. Access and basing. PNG opened doors to U.S. allied training and logistics, raising the cost of any Chinese move in the Coral Sea. Coalitions at sea. The Philippines, it multiplies partners, U.S., Japan, Australia, now India, to protect, resupply, and patrol the South China Sea. Agenda control. The Solomons Forum call keeps great power narratives outside, letting island states set terms on climate, aid, telecoms, ports, and police training, signaling via Taiwan ties. Palau's line in the sand tells donors, support us and we'll anchor your preferred network, including non-Huawei telecom and U.S. overflight access. Add it up and you get a mesh of constraints on Beijing, diplomatic, logistical, and narrative, none of which require a single aircraft carrier. And you know what Beijing fears next? Escalation optics. Each new video of China's Coast Guard hauling a Philippine boat becomes recruitment material for Manila's friends and justification for more access agreements. And now blocks around the logistics are forming. If the US, Australia, Japan network normalizes exercises and prepositions across PNG and the Philippines, the first responder advantage in any crisis shifts decisively away from Beijing. Now let's talk about the agenda drift at the Forum. Keeping big donors outside the room can also limit China's ability to massage communiques or secure language that sidelines Taiwan, something island leaders have complained about for years. Where this goes and why it fits America's model? Well, Washington's strategy isn't about recreating the 1990s globalism. It's selective. Access where it counts. Think PNG, the Philippines. Partners that actually show up. Japan, Manila, Australia. India was supposed to be on that list, but it really just does not seem to be working out. And then you have telecom and infrastructure standards that keep the network secure. Think the US keeping out Huawei and putting in American-made 5G services. And that's why smaller states now matter more than ever. They decide who gets key runways, ports, cables, telecom access inside regional bodies. So, China isn't being out-muscled by one giant move. It's being out-positioned by a dozen smaller ones. From Laea's port to Manila's patrols to Palau's pledge, the Pacific chessboard is tilting quietly, steadily against Beijing. And the U.S. is hoping to capitalize on this tilt. And if we can, the shift for the next decade could move everything away from China as China becomes a dying nation. Hey, this is Frank with America's Geopolitics. If you like what you heard, hit the subscribe button.